So what do you want to know?
Just talking to the mic about the Nichols, the hot tub, your childhood, and everything.
Well, I grew up in a small suburb in Southern California. It was a lot like Los Gatos, affluent, and the days were just like any other, sunny, a little smoggy, stereotypical of a California day. I was a high school junior at the time, and school had just gotten out for the summer, and like any typical teenager, I was eager to hang out with my friends. But my mom was really strict in having me return on my bike right after school every day, regardless. So, one day, I was sitting at home, and the Nichols family called me. You see, during the summer, I was known by my community to water people's lawns and gardens for money when they were away on their summer vacations. Now, normally I would have been ecstatic to get work from the Nichols, but there was an issue. Nichols' family lived down the street, and I hesitated to accept their offer for good reason. About 10 years earlier, I was maybe 6 or 7 at the time, a middle-aged woman lived in the Nichols' house before they did. And that house used to freak me out all the time, because during the day you couldn't see or hear anything. But in the evening, you could see her. She was walking around and around and around inside of her house, following the same mesmerizing sort of pattern every night. Now, I didn't like walking past this house, period. So when I did walk down the street, I'd walk, and I'd get to this house, and I'd run, and then I'd walk again. I didn't want to be there, and I wanted to limit my interaction as little as possible. So fast forward a couple years, when my father realizes that there's a really disturbing smell coming from this house, which led him to call the police and the fire department, and they came to the building and they knocked down the door, and they found the woman face down, dead, right on her bed. Well, I never truly forgot about her, but I would like to pretend as a kid as much as I could that she never existed. But no matter how much I lied to myself, the place was free of anything natural, I guess. It had a funny vibe to it, and I just had a feeling it wasn't right. So, the summer of my junior year, when the Nichols asked me to take care of their lawn for a couple weeks, I think anybody could understand my hesitation in accepting the offer. But before I could respond, they mentioned there's a lot of money in it for me, and it was a lot of money for a 16-year-old.
Hello? For $12 a day, I'll do it. See you first thing in the morning.
They also said, and this was the kicker, that my friends could use their hot tub, which back in the day was a huge bonus because not a lot of people had them. So I figured, if I just water during the day and I'll play my music in the background, everything will be fine. And so that's what I did for the first week. And then Saturday came around. I felt pretty confident, so I called up my friends and I said, hey, let's go to the hot tub. And they didn't want to pass up that deal. So of course, every single one of them came over that night, and I don't know, it was late. Maybe it was around 11. We walked down, ready to confront the alleged haunted house. Walked down the long driveway, opened the latch gate, and then walked right to the hot tub. Now, this hot tub is just adjacent to the bedroom windows, huge bay bedroom windows. And I start talking. And I start talking about how this woman died and how it was so mysterious. And everybody stares at me in disbelief because everyone is obviously spooked. But they don't want to show that they're scared, and they're not going to walk away. Because any teenage boy can tell you facing a ghost in the face is better than being called a coward. 45 minutes later, no ghost appears, so we get out of the hot tub and we walk back up the street, and my friends leave me there alone in front of the house. Now, my parents are gone. My sister's gone because they're back in the Midwest dropping her off at college. So it's got to be, I don't know, close to 1 in the morning. And I'm just ready to hit the hay. And I walk into the house and let my feet guide my body to bed. And I land face first into my bed and pass out and sink into my dreams. But in that blissful moment right before you teeter off to sleep, I open my eyes and I hear it. In my mind, I can hear the hot tub motor, and I've left it on. And I think, oh no. Because I know if I keep that motor on, if I stay safely in bed, that motor's going to burn out. And replacing me is going to cost way more than all the watering jobs that summer. I just can't pay for it as a teenager. So I just suck up my fear, and I get out of bed, and I walk out of the house, and I think about what I'm going to see. So I just decide, I walk down that driveway, I do not look to my left, because she's probably in some window. I move straight for the hot tub, I reach down to turn off the motor, and then I look up. I don't see anything. Not in the hot tub. I don't see anything through the windows, backyard, nothing. This whole hyped up scare I was building, it's nothing but a fake. So, turn to walk home, return to bed. And when I'm walking back down towards the street, down the driveway, I notice a small light coming from the house, one of the windows. And right through the window is a TV, and it's on, and it's playing static. And I didn't notice this before, but of course my head was down, and now I want to get a better look, so I walk toward the window, and just then my foot catches on something, and I trip, and I go smack right against the window pane, and I pass out. I pass out. I woke up later in the middle of the night, laying flat on my back. I sit up. I don't know how much time has passed. I look up through the window to see if the TV is turned off, but the house looks empty from my view. And I stumble back home and enter through the side door by the laundry room, and step into the hallway and turn on the light switch. Click, click. But there's no light. It doesn't go on. And so I reach around the corner where the kitchen light is, and I go click, click. Everywhere I go, there is no light in the house. And at this point, I'm in the middle of the house, and I know something is wrong. So I just dart to the front door, and I fumble with the locks and run out to the street, where I just sat there in the middle of the street and watched the house until the sun rose. And I didn't move from that spot for hours, not until far later, when the water sprinklers turned on and started to soak my clothes, and I snuck into a car left by my parents to grab a robe left from one of my swim meets. I finally worked back the courage to enter the house, and I enter through the back door again and go to the closest light switch, and once again, click, no light. And I look up to see, and there's no light bulb. It's gone. I go into the kitchen, all the bulbs gone. I go into the living room, all of them gone. And now I'm contemplating as to why my lights are all missing, and I hear a car pull up in my driveway. And I look out the window to see my friends from last night carrying a bag full of light bulbs. And they explained that
After you told us that story about the girl, we pretended to drive away, but we really came back to scare you. We went around the back of your house and found an open window and stole all your light bulbs. Look how mad he is.
So when the Nichols called about 5 days later, well, I hadn't watered their lawn in some time. So I expected this to be the subject of their call, and I apologized profusely in doing such a poor job, and I offered not to be paid, but Mr. Nichols responded by saying,
"No, that's not the issue. The lawn is totally fine. I only have one question for you. Would you please come down here?"
So I walked down to the house through their back gate to see Mr. Nichols crouched in front of the window. Of course, the first thing I asked was,
Hey, Mr. Nichols. You didn't happen to have any people over here when I was watering the lawn, did you?
No, no one stayed here. But there is something I'd like to show you.
He walked over to a small wooden block they used for propping the door open and handed it to me. And written on it was a barely legible scrawl. "Hello, children. Leave me." Later, I asked my friends about the etching, and they all denied writing it. And now they may have been the light bulb thieves, but they weren't into vandalism, and they didn't lie. And no, I believe my friends were above doing anything like this. They would have told me the truth eventually, but they never did. So in the end, about 32 years later, it's a moment still stuck with me. Haven't really gotten over it. I mean, what do I know? For all I know, the story could have been just some elaborate prank in the end. Anyway, that's the story. Hope you can take away something from it. So we done here?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Good.